another match point.
Incredible third set here.
They changed their strategy a little bit and they fought their way back in.
There it is, game, set, and match.
Hello and welcome to the 2024-2025 APTA Tour. We're live from the Birchwood Club in Highland Park, Illinois, bringing you the Birchwood Open with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsors, Volley and Corian. Tournament support has been provided by the following local sponsors: Crane Construction Company, Esro, Renovo Financial, Lynn Wise Group, 28 Mile Distilling Company, and Milco Investments. I'm Dave Broderick along with Mike Raleigh, bringing you the round of 16 men's match between Sam Miles and Danny Oakes, taking on Charlie Emhardt and Drew Lead. Mike, welcome, and how are you? How's everything going out there?
Oh, it's a beautiful day here in Highland Park at the Birchwood Open. Dave, thanks for having me. Yeah, we got a great matchup here. This match was a little bit delayed because of the Leeds and Emhardt. Tiebreaker in the third, or I think maybe 7-5 in the third. They went the distance, and so we got a great matchup here. Emhardt on your bottom of the screen now on the left-hand side, and that beautiful royal blue stocking cap is partner Drew Lead there with the baseball cap with the Viking red paddle. And the only man standing there on the court or tying his shoes kneeling is Sam Miles. Sam's from Indianapolis, is the men's, I believe he's the men's tennis coach at Butler. And his partner is Chicago's very own Danny Oakes. Emhardt is from the Indianapolis area, and his partner's from Brookfield, Wisconsin, just outside of Milwaukee.
Yeah, it looks like we should be in for a good match. As you mentioned, Emhardt and Leeds, they went the distance in their previous first round match, and Miles and Oakes are going to be a little bit fresh. Which, you know what, we've seen it before. How do you think that could play out in the start of this match?
Well, usually you sometimes get I think it can go one of two ways. You play a long match, and you come out kind of warmed up and ready to go, or it can go the other way where they're kind of dragging. But I'm betting they're going to start strong. Oakes and Miles had a bye here in the first round, so this is their first match of the day.
I think sometimes when you do that, it is kind of tough if you're Oakes and Miles because, you're sitting around, you're waiting for the match, you thought it was going to start, and, now all of a sudden it's like, okay, it's go time. Let's turn on the switch and let's get ready to go, where these guys are already all amped up. They've had the highs and the lows, and it looks like we're about to get started.
Yeah, the Emhardt there ready to serve. And Rob Laboon up in the chair. Yeah, fun fact here. We have Emhardt and Danny Oakes. They played at Valparaiso together. Played tennis there, so I don't know how much they overlapped.
We're starting to see more and more college tennis teammates playing paddle here and there.
I think Sam Miles played at DePaul, Greencastle, Indiana.
I think there's a really good point here for Miles and Oakes. Again, they were sitting around waiting, and, so first couple of points have kind of gone, rather quickly. I think there's a really good point for them to get settled in, break a sweat, get in the flow of the match, and you know, it looks like everybody out here, everything's, you know, there's not too many balls flying all over the court. And it looks like it's going to be pretty traditional until one sails wide there.
Well, I think as a coach and a teaching professional, I think I always try to get the players to start the match, you know, focusing more on length of point and really committed to playing the right shots and really, like you said, get into this match by playing long points to start. Frustrating, I think, sometimes for players when they just go out and they're like, oh, well, you know, they almost look at the first 4 games as being a warm-up.
Right.
Boy, you see Emhardt in lead here up at the net. Get a full complement of different overheads. You see the roller, the gutter.
Yeah, there, you know, quite a few different shots, different varieties. You know, the one thing I'm going to be interested in is always seeing is, you know, how much is that ball going to go side to side when they're hitting the overheads? Because if you're hitting it side to side, like that ball's going all the way across the court, and, you know, even though it's just being lobbed back, there is movement being created. And as you and I, Mike, both know, it's not as easy to hit shots when you're standing still as, you know, it's a lot easier hitting them when you're standing still. When you're on the move, all of a sudden an easy shot's not so easy.
Absolutely, and you know, you're opening up the court, so they're always hitting on the move. It's a great lob there from Oaks.
As we just saw right there. It's funny that a lot of people that play don't realize when you're at the net and the ball's going side to side, you're the one doing all the moving. The baseline team has nowhere to go.
Right. Boy, we've seen it's a third missed overhead for the Emhardt Leeds team. And you'll see a presence here with Danny Oaks with his two-hander in the middle of the court. And I don't know if that, you know, plays into maybe their scheme at the net. Are they trying to avoid that two-hander? That's something we'll have to look for. But to your point, they've hit 9 overheads and only 2 in a row have gone into the same corner. There we go, it happened again. Boy, that's a great play there, Sam Miles. Start with the break here.
And even like that last overhead, it wasn't an awful spot, but it still forced the team of Emhardt and Lead to move. Mm-hmm. And again, it's when you're moving left and you're trying to volley a ball behind you to the right, it's not as easy as when the ball's coming right at you.
That's absolutely true.
I know when I practice warming up before a match, I'm standing still hitting volleys. I'm never running around trying to move my feet.
And that ball's contained right in front of you, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I also want to say, Mike, that, you know, when we talk about this stuff, and I've had conversations with several people lately, that the level of play up and down the draws in the tournaments each week is getting so much better that your margins for error are getting even less and less.
It's, yeah, and, you know, I know that back in my day when you were, and when I was playing, you know, the first match or two, there was a little bit of it was almost like a warm-up, but now it seems like there's no place to hide in the majority of the draws.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, you know,
I mean, and it,
sorry, go ahead.
good. I was just gonna point out that it's just getting to the point where it's almost like, you know, hit it right to somebody and see what they can do with it. Because if you try to move the ball around too much and you create the slightest of openings for them, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, that it is I mean, one of the things that I'll say is this game is played so much north to south, meaning baseline to baseline and not sideline to sideline. You know,
Right.
we're playing end zone to end zone, and it's a lot easier to defend when that ball's hitting basically in front of you as opposed to side to side. Got 30 all here with Danny Oakes serving, his partner Sam Miles in the Vans hoodie, the brown or gray hoodie. Charlie Emhardt with the blue hat and the deuce side, and his partner Drew Lead in the backhand. Looks like he's going to unload on a two-hander here.
Good smart play there, letting that ball go through and just starting the point all over, and was rewarded by winning the point for a good decision.
Boy, that's a nice little transition play. Emhardt.
Over the head there, nice and deep.
And even though it didn't have pace,
error.
yeah, it kind of forced Emhardt to make it baited him into hitting that drive.
And I also think when it was a really good lob that he hit, and I think you see it a lot where players hit good lobs and they move in a little bit, and you know, and to your point about, you know, it wasn't hit very hard, but it was deep. You know, it just made it a tougher shot because by moving in, he kind of brought the baseline in with him and made it a tougher shot.
Right. Well, and there's more to the drive than hitting. Oh, that's great hands.
Yeah.
You see Sam Miles there with the smile and a little clap. You know, that there's more to the drive. It's not only do you got to start it with a good lob, but if you don't have the drivable ball, if it's not short, it probably shouldn't be hit.
Right.
Man, I'd say Danny Oakes has one of the biggest wind-ups on the overhead on the circuit. Look at that thing.
I was just thinking the same thing.
He doesn't get cheated on that thing, does he?
No, he's getting that momentum into it.
Just missed that
Miles
wide.
is doing a really good job of moving up that, creeping up that side screen there. He's really looking to be aggressive on some of these overheads.
And this is a great view to see how Emhardt and Lead play at the net. It just seemed to me like Emhardt was a little bit crowding the middle of the court when the ball was in Miles' corner. It'll be interesting to see if that's kind of one of their I mean, he's starting a little bit neutral here, but you'll see him drift over a little bit to his left.
Yeah.
Love it there. Great volley.
Good get there by Oaks.
But I wonder if that's his movement to get. We'll see. We've seen him switch at the net a couple times already, where Emhardt's hitting most of those overheads. That's a big drive.
Yeah, I think that's one there you have to let go and play it off the screen and just restart the point. Don't try to, don't try to press.
Well, and there lies the rub. You've got some great talent, that they're coming from the tennis court and learning to it's usually temper their skills and shot making.
Right.
And be much more of a, choosy on when they attack.
I'm a big believer that okay shots are really good.
Boring paddle, right? It's winning paddle. It's a great spot from Miles.
Although, Mike, nowadays they're taking boring paddle and they're making it exciting. It is fast paced, a lot of transition, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to, lobs, drives, volleys, and screenplay. Kind of just like it did from the beginning.
Yeah, I think, and I know we've talked about it on the stream a lot, and it's the game is becoming more dynamic and more offensive, but I mean, it's all built on a foundation of discipline and
right. There's basic principles of it.
Oh, good point.
Hey, Mike, are you excited that this year the Nationals are starting on a Thursday afternoon, and play will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with Sunday being available for bad weather? What do you think about that this year?
I think it's fantastic. I think it will bring a lot more buzz to that Saturday. Not that the Super Saturday play, but it almost will put the focus back on the men's and women's final rather than what would have been maybe a semifinal or a quarterfinal match. So I think I love that move. Spaces out the play a little bit for the players.
Yeah. I mean, when I found out the finals for the men's were going to be on Saturday night, I had a thought maybe of signing up. That'd be fun to play in.
Boy, I think they'd give you a bye right to the finals.
But then reality set in that I should probably go to Philly on like Tuesday night if I wanted to play at night.
Yeah, we'll be at the Philly Cricket Club.
Anybody wants to come out, you can come watch me play on Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. I'll be arriving, I think, on Wednesday to, get ready for a full weekend of live streaming. I'm not even going to bring a paddle, but I'm going to change my flight to just to see you play.
Maybe I'll just be out there hitting with the volley machine.
There you go.
Play under the lights. No, I think that's a super cool idea, and I think it's going to be, like you said, it's going to be great atmosphere, super exciting to, get these matches going. And I mean, the other thing too is you have these huge events, especially nationals. A lot of work goes into it. You know what? You want to have the matches set up at times when you're going to get the most people out there really enjoying it and appreciating it.
Yeah. I think from a fan's perspective, we get a lot more bang for the buck, really is putting the spotlight back on the finals for both the men and the women. Not that Sunday play didn't do it, but, I think that I love the crowds and the feel that we get, at the big tournaments on those Saturday nights. And it seems like just has given us a little bit of everything now. getting the best of both worlds.
Right. Saturday nights we're getting 500 people out watching or whatever the number is, and you know what? Why don't we have the finals then?
Boy, that's a great move from Miles there.
And then what else, Mike? Don't we have Team National signups coming up?
Oh, they open up on Sunday, or Monday, sorry. Monday.
Monday, yeah. I think you're involved in Team Nationals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the men here in Chicago, and women are out in New Jersey. And in the last year, I think we had, yeah, it felt like 1,000 women here in the great state of Illinois. But we get the men this year, and the ladies are going out to your way in New Jersey.
Yeah, they'll be in New Jersey this year. Talked to Patty Hogan and Greg Morgan, and they're already looking for fun and exciting things for the women to do while they're out here in New Jersey.
Yeah, I think, to preemptively thank all of the local clubs that give up their courts, their facilities for that weekend is huge. I know that, we wouldn't be able to host an event that large because it is, I think between the men and women will be upwards of 800 participants. So it's a big undertaking, and it's a big ask for, the clubs to provide the courts. But thanks to all those that have agreed or will be bothering soon.
Yeah, no, and in an ideal world, I mean, for 800 people, you're looking at close to 200 courts. So this way, you don't have a whole lot of sitting around, and so it definitely it takes everybody to support it and buy into it and really support the event.
Well, it's great to see how Emhardt and Leeds have kind of settled in. Deuce number, or ad number 16 here. Love that third panel slam. Opens the corner up.
Mike, I'm still watching this, loving the big wind up on the overhead.
I mean,
the big wind up, and he's just carving it out.
oh, it's a great eye. Deuce number 17.
And I think to your point early on, I think, when Miles and Oaks are getting to the net, I think they are playing a little bit cleaner, meaning they're sort of doing a little bit more of the old pick and stick, more than it is having the ball going side to side to side to side. And, I think they're really doing a good job of being positioned well, and, they're not having to hit too many difficult shots when they're up at the net.
I stole from Denise Murphy. I was listening to a match she was calling on the live stream a couple weeks ago, and she said, it's the definition of a good overhead. And that was one that doesn't get driven, and you get a lot back.
Right.
Well, we have a little overrule from chair umpire Rob Laboon. Takes us back to deuce. But back to what I was saying, and Denise said, you know, that's really the definition of a good overhead is you're getting a lob coming back. And to take it even further, you know, a good overhead is one that makes your position at the net, it doesn't weaken your position. And,
Right.
you know, if we're having to shift back and forth left to right, that in some cases can weaken our position at the net.
I think just from our conversation, quite honestly, I think Miles and Oaks have been doing a really good job from the baseline, sort of exploiting that, you know, ball movement side to side to side. And I think, you know, one of the things I really want to point out is I think the best thing that they're doing to exploiting it is just being patient.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you watch matches all the time and the ball's going side to side to side and the baseline team is getting antsy and they think, oh my God, they're hitting it side to side. I should be doing something. And, you know, they rush and hit a shot that might not be the right shot where, you know, I think Miles and Oaks are just, you know, they're kind of going with the flow and they're just hitting good, solid shots. And they're actually finding a lot of openings that are getting created by that ball movement.
And you find that, you know, if you have a borderline ball that could be driven and you choose not to drive it, a lot of times that, you know, and throwing that that additional lob up makes the next drive even easier.
Right. Especially, again, I think with the quality of players that are playing both the men's and women's side, you know, when it comes to driving the ball, like, you can't get away with those sort of half drives anymore. I think, you know, if you're going to drive the ball, you want to hit the best drive that you can possibly hit in that particular moment.
How about the backhand cutter we just saw there from Leeds? I mean, that thing went right off of Miles' paddle straight. I mean, the reason he missed that was due to the spin. You know, came off his paddle and dropped right in the net. I love that overhead. A little bit of soft roll into the side screen on the deuce side, biting and staying low.
Yeah, good pickups there by Miles. Yeah, they were really good overheads.
Oh.
A little bit of a loose game there by Miles and Oaks, but Emhardt lead took advantage of it. They're on the board here in the first set.
I think this is a strategy shift here where Emhardt and Leeds are going to be working Danny Oaks' corner.
Yeah, it seems like they're hitting more rollers over to that side of the court. I like how they're mixing up the speed of the rollers.
You know, in today's players, it's amazing the use of that rolling overhead, how much a factor that is in today's game, and in the range in which they can hit it. You see like right there, stroking that ball, hitting that roller from a foot outside the baseline or service line. I'd be hitting it straight into the bottom of the net.
Now the variety on the overhead on the rollers is, you see it changing all the time. I mean, you could do it with add more spin, more speed, less speed. So it's a really versatile weapon to have. Well spotted drive there by Sam Miles.
That was
catching Emhardt moving to the middle.
Yeah, and we're right on that cusp at 28, 30 degrees. So ball isn't flying, but that you're right on the edge. What a great overhead there. Lead thing was Velcroed to that side screen.
Yeah.
But, that there's a little bit of indecision now on balls that will go through the team, whether it's going to come way out. I like how Emhardt and Lee, they've settled in here.
And Mike, I'll tell you, it's funny. If I was sitting here watching this with, some of my club members or friends, and they asked me, well, what's Emhardt and Lead? What are they doing differently? And it's just, what? They're keeping more balls in play.
Right. And they seem to be a little bit more deliberate, with their overhead placements. It's kind of settled the team down a little bit. Takes us back to deuce.
I think even like on that ball that was hit through in transition, but Emhardt and Lead were able to keep the net. I think, we've talked about it forever, about spotting your drives and placing your shots where, like, again, as the game is getting better, all the skill levels of all the players and the depth in the game is getting so much better. Like, I think spotting the drives and placement is becoming so important.
Well, and if you're not hitting it to the right spot, you're taking on such a big risk, right? I mean,
yeah,
they can be hitting the right ball, but to the wrong location, and they're doing their team a disservice.
Yep.
Boy, that takes us right into word from our sponsor here. Did you know that Volley has thrown 5 million balls to players working on their game? Don't get left behind. Get your reps in with Volley. Whether it's a day or night, you're in control of your training. Volley offers world-class training on demand, helping you sharpen your skills and level up your game whenever it fits your schedule. Ready to join the movement? Start training smarter with Volley today.
Mike, when I get into Philly, I'm going to try to get it up to another million.
There you go. You'll have like 2 days before the start of the tournament if you get there on Tuesday. So
I might be too tired to play.
Eat, sleep, and drink Volley. That might be a new. I mean, we'll talk to the marketing department. Danny Oakes here to serve. If you're just joining us, his partner at the net, the Navy cap, Sam Miles. Got Drew Lead there hitting the return right here with the two-hander down the line. Partner Charlie Emhardt. Oh. And I think that right there was the first ball between Miles and Oakes that, maybe a poor decision. But boy, Emhardt and Lead have come roaring back. Triple break point here down love 40, or up love 40.
Storming back. You'll love 40, lost a point. Let's see how that plays out in this game.
Your great friend Mo Mentom.
Yeah. See the big slice.
You don't see that
Round
often.
stroke there. Oh.
Boy, I like how he held on to that, see if Charlie would bite one way or the other.
He got him to move in, but Emhardt made an amazing over-the-shoulder get there.
Yeah. 2 break points saved here from Danny Oakes. Great drive. Takes us 3-all in the first set. Round of 16, so the Birchwood Open. I'm Mike Raleigh alongside Dave Broderick. We'll have a full day here of live streaming. I think our next live streaming will be about 1 p.m. Women's quarterfinal, I believe.
Yeah, full schedule slated for today. So it's all the paddle fans out there that enjoy watching a live stream. They can buckle up and enjoy a lot of paddle for today.
Great volley from Charlie Emhardt there. I think that's another way that the game, Dave, and correct me if I'm wrong or if you disagree, but the role of the player at the net who's defending the drives and the amount of movement that they make, you know, it's that much more of a kind of play a bigger role, I think, in today's game, kind of in their defensive schemes at the net. That if their partner's
I
serving or hitting the overheads, they're really looking to roam.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I mean, especially, again, when it kind of all goes back to the skill and the athleticism of the players that are, you know, that are coming out week in and week out. And, you know, we've known it and we've talked about it for a lot of years together, how, you know, the return of serve, you have the advantage, and that's your first opportunity to attack. And the first volley is probably the hardest shot in platform tennis. So, you know what? If that net player can get involved and cut balls off, you know, if you don't have to hit a first volley, it's going to be hard to miss them.
So we see now, Dave, it's clearly a strategy to play more balls into the deuce corner, into Danny Oakes' corner. What's his counter to that strategy if you're coaching Oakes right now?
If I'm coaching Oakes and they're going to keep the ball going to him, I'd like to see him hit some more cross-court lobs to maybe try to get short forehands that he could maybe open up the court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd like right there, that was a good look. I think that's what he's going to be looking for. But now it's just going to come down to executing, you know, that shot. You know, obviously he could play the ball down the line, but, you know, that's not necessarily going to force Emhardt and Lead to hit the ball back to him. So yeah, I like the cross court lob if he could hit a few more lobs. You know, in this kind of scheme of what they're at the net, Lead is kind of in the overhead position. Emhardt's more of in the volley position.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him do that. Plus, it looks like Lead can end the point when he wants. That might be another reason to keep it away from him in that particular setup.
Well, you also look at their even when the ball goes into the deuce corner, and you've got Emhardt on the right-hand side, if they're facing the net on our left, but he's forward where Lead is back, so lobbing into that space behind Charlie is, I think, a great coach's tip from you. And
I wouldn't even lob it to try to get it over Emhardt's head.
Yeah.
I would just get them off the net, create a little bit of space, create some movement, and again, try to get them to cough up a ball maybe in the middle of the court. So now you're getting Sam Miles involved in the play as well, because not only are they keeping a lot of balls over there to Oaks, but they're kind of freezing Miles out a little bit.
Oh, that's a great overhead. That is an unfortunate outcome for a great overhead hit right into the neck.
Talk about the momentum swings.
I mean, this is 4 games in a row right? We started the match with Miles and Oaks going out to a 3-love lead. And they even won that super long game to go to 3-love. So it's interesting that it's, the momentum was able to shift after that. You'd think big determinant of momentum shifts is winning or losing a long game.
And I also think Emhardt and lead, when they're up at the net now, they're doing a lot less moving of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, I think throughout the course of the match, especially at the net, but even at the baseline, I think Emhardt and lead are just becoming a little bit more deliberate.
Ball clipped the tape. If we had tape here.
Yep.
Wow, great volley.
Great defense there by Emhardt.
He had to clean up his own mess after hanging that spike ball up for Danny Oaks. There's the lob. I'd like to see Oaks hit a lot more.
Again, those were really good lobs that he was hitting, creating space. Emhardt just has been doing a good job with with his overheads, not being able to create anything for Oaks over there in that corner.
That was a close overhead. Wow. Great overhead.
Yeah, things real good overhead, but again, you saw the last play when, Miles and Oaks hit the nick. It sat right up for Emhardt to hit an overhead, and that one just hit the nick and dies.
The rub of the green, right? I mean,
It's it. It's it. there's that spot I'd like to see Oaks going at a little bit more. Because to your point, Emhardt, even when they're going to the forehand side, he's right on, or the deuce side, he's right on top of the net. And there's that look that I want him to, be ready for.
And you had mentioned it earlier. One of the things that when I kind of teaching, and you look at the court, your opponent's court, almost like a 4-square chessboard, and your lobs are used to move the players within those 4 squares. And and you have that area right behind where Emhardt is now. Boy, that was a big point, I think, for the momentum for Miles and Oaks. But if when they're lobbing, they're not lobbing to get the ball behind their opponent. They're lobbing to move their opponent into that square behind where Leeds is here in our lower right-hand corner of the screen. Wow.
Wow, great hands. Hey, that's the first kind of unforced error that we've seen out of Leeds and Miles and Emhardt in quite a while. Despite the run of string of games that they're on right here, I do think they're playing really well, and they've really picked up their games.
Yeah, they've tightened it up a ton. Nice get from Miles there.
Again, we see how quickly on the dime the points just, change as to who's in control of the point.
Yeah, the balance of power shifted 3-4 different times in that one point. Well, there's a little luck of the Irish. Let court action. Really good overhead. Emhardt takes it back to deuce. If I were coaching this team, specifically, Miles and Oaks, I would look for potentially when Danny's hitting that return to have Miles moving up and threatening the blitz, on that first volley.
Just to maybe
just to give him a slightly different look, create a little more pressure.
Yeah. I'll tell you again, you know, for the team of Miles and Oaks, I think they've got to come up with a way to figure out how they can drive some more balls, whether it's a little bit more movement or off the screen. It just looks like Emhardt and Lead are just way too comfortable at the net right now, hitting a lot of overheads.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always as easy as it sounds as to just start driving balls, but you know, I think they've got to get them out of their comfort zone at the net right now.
Well, and part of that too is it has to do with Emhardt and Leeds are doing a good job hitting kind of some keeping Oaks and Miles, in a reactionary type. Like there's a great look, right? I mean, it's the right ball. Almost too good. But they're doing a good job with their overheads and changing the speeds, location, and spins that Oaks and Miles aren't able to settle in and really spot their lobs. That's a good lob. Look what it got them.
So they kind of have them they have Oaks and Miles almost on their heels.
Right.
At the baseline, like as we saw right there. Really good lob and just drive.
Set point here. Leeds bringing the cutter out.
Oh boy. Really good pickup there by
That was.
Sam Miles.
He made it look easy, didn't he? Boy, that takes us to our first set. We'll be back after these words from our sponsor.
Want to see how volley can transform training at your club? We've got a great offer for you. Gather 30 of your club friends and you'll get a free 30-day trial of volley. Experience firsthand how Volley's trainer can help everyone improve. Increase reps and track your progress, all while training smarter. Don't miss out. Visit getvolley.com and unlock your club's full potential with a 30-day free trial.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
And welcome back to the APTA Tour. We're here at the Birchwood Open in Highland Park, Illinois, with this men's round of 16 match between Sam Miles and Danny Oaks, taking on Charlie Emhardt and Drew Lead. I'm Dave Broderick, along with Mike Raleigh. Mike, welcome back. What did you think about that first set there? It was a pretty good first set.
Yeah, and it was kind of a tale of two, the start and the finish of that set. And we saw Miles and Oaks jump out to a 3-love lead, and Emhardt and Lead just kind of stayed with it and ripped off 6 games in a row. And boy, I'd expect the second set. I mean, we saw some great play from both sides, but I mean, to our point that we were making earlier, I think if we get Oaks and Miles a little more deliberate with their lobbing to create more of an unease for Leeds and Emhardt at the net, with better lob placement and then followed up with the drives. I'll be looking for that this second set here. Oh. Danny Oaks, I think, was looking for Miles to help him out there.
Yeah, and I think earlier on you brought up a really good point that Leeds and Emhardt are hitting really good overheads, but I still think that Miles and Oaks are a little bit back on their heels. They kind of got to get up on the balls of their feet and start looking to create some opportunities with the drive and not just let the other team of Emhardt and Leeds be comfortable at the net.
Did you see Sam Miles took a follow through from Danny Oaks' overhead right in the dome? I hope he's okay. Yeah, how many fingers is he holding up?
My ears were ringing for like 10 seconds.
Injury time out there. Maybe that'll spark him up, huh? Create a spark.
Well, but that's good news from Sam Miles saying, he's good. And again, Mike, as we said, this is a men's round of 16 match. We have men's and women's matches being brought to you all afternoon for the rest of the day from the Birchwood Open. Presented by CSM Media is bringing the live coverage to you.
Okay, and there's the first game, second set to Miles and Oaks. Dave,
Mike,
what
was
is
that an attempted / drop shot lob?
Boy, I don't know. I've never seen one of those before. I couldn't even tell you
I
that.
guess it wouldn't have been it definitely wasn't a / drop shot attempt, but it looked like a / lob attempt.
Maybe, keep that in R&D then, because it's not quite there yet.
The game is growing.
I almost stopped the point though. Should I keep going? It was like both ears were like, can't be good. Can we take one? Yeah.
So I think this is the 16th spot on the tour. We've got a couple more coming up. We got the Short Hills Invitational next weekend, the 8th and 9th of February. And we move into the Steel City Classic in Pittsburgh, followed by the Indianapolis Open. And then which takes us, as we mentioned before, right into the APTA Nationals.
And again, just to point out, Mike, for the APTA Nationals down in Philly, it will be played Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with saving the Sunday for any weather issues that might occur.
It never rains on our parade, so I don't, I see Charlie Emhardt taking over this game, just ripping winners. That's a good ball.
See, that's the play I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Oaks had that lob over Emhardt's head. He kind of ducked, and it created space and an opportunity for Sam Miles to come over and hit an aggressive drive.
Yeah, there's the spot right there. Kind of that space between the two players at the net.
And again, we just want to mention, or I want to mention that, part of the problems that Miles and Oaks are facing are the variety of roller overheads by Leeds and Emhardt. I mean, their overheads have been really good. Then, Mike, we also want to remind everyone out there looking to play team nationals that sign-ups open on Monday.
Yeah, I'm sure that it is, I'm not going to say guaranteed to fill up, but based on history, it's grown every year, and we were at maximum capacity last year. So get your team, sign up early. You know, a couple questions I've fielded over the last month is size of team. We need a minimum of 6 players. You know, how do you formulate your team? It can be anybody, kind of similar PTIs of 10 to 15 points. Do not have to be from the same club or even the same region. Play is Saturday and Sunday. You're guaranteed really 3 matches Saturday and at least 1 match on Sunday. If you make it to the finals, you'll play a second match Sunday afternoon. Oh, that's great range from Emhardt.
Yeah, they've had a lot of answers for everything that Miles and Oaks have been throwing at them since the slow start in the beginning.
Oh, that's a great overhead.
Mike, I just want to let you know that I just got confirmation that Tuesday night, Bruce Redpath and I will be practicing in Philly.
Oh, well, good to hear. I'm going to change my flight. On one of my breaks here from this live streaming schedule they've got us on.
He has us accorded Philly cricket, and we're going to get ready and try to see if we're not too tired. Maybe Bruce and I will make a run for Saturday night under the lights.
You don't think he's going to be too busy? Boy, I don't think Lead wants to try that one again.
Yeah, no, that was the slash we were talking about. I think Bruce has a few things going on, but you know what? Again, it's that, you know, the aura of playing under the lights on Saturday night for the championship. It's gonna bring everyone out to play.
Or to watch, in my case.
One or the other, right? But Bruce, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Advantage, Mr. Miles. Yeah.
What a pickup.
What a get there hit by Sam Miles.
So I was doing a little Google sleuthing here. I'd mentioned earlier that Sam had played at tennis at DePaul, that both Emhardt and Oaks had played at Valparaiso, and it looks like Lee had played at he was a Michigan State Spartan. He's now an assistant coach at the Harvard of the Midwest, Marquette University. Danny Oaks couldn't pull 2 rabbits out of his hat there.
Yeah.
It's a great spin move. See, that's a ball right there. If Emhardt just throws that lob up, he lives to fight another day. Kind of gained a slight advantage in the point, but
Miles Oaks. They lead 2 games to 1. Second set. Emhardt lead for the first set, 6 games to 3.
That was one of the first loose games that Leeds and Emhardt have played in a while, quite honestly. You know, just a couple of quick mistakes there at the end, like you talked about, maybe throwing up a lob, maybe, you know, dialing that backhand down a little bit. But, you know, again, I think right now, if you're Miles and Oaks, I think one of the strategies, and as simple as it's going to sound is, I think they've just got to look for a way to, make them hit more balls. But again, I still think they've got to get off their heels on the baseline and be looking to put a little bit of more pressure on them with drives and maybe moving the lobs around just a little bit, creating movement.
Yeah, I agree. I think that a little more deliberate with their lob locations. But part of, I think, that is going into that they are forced to play a little bit on their heels due to the good overheads from Emhardt and Lead. They're putting a lot of pressure on them in the backcourt.
Love.
So this is where they've got to be a little more careful, right?
Yeah, they can't play such loose points, and like it's interesting to see that it looks like they're putting, from our viewing right now, they're putting Emhardt on the left side of the net, but it seems like he's hitting a lot of the overheads, which I think if on the long run that could play into that could play out well for Miles and Oaks.
Right. And it's one thing if he's hitting that overhead and taking that overhead into the deuce corner. But if he's hitting balls back into the ad side into Miles, moving to his left to hit to his right, that's problematic.
Right.
15.
Boy, that was an athletic move, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, really good move there.
40, 15.
Let's go regular.
Game, MRD, game for 2-all.
Mike, it's interesting because you see, right now, obviously, Emhardt and Lead have won the first set and they're, playing pretty well, but, they're still doing some different formations, changing it up, not letting, Oaks and Miles really get good looks and keeping them guessing, quite honestly.
Yeah, and I think we're also seeing a little bit of uncharacteristic, errors in the backcourt from Danny Oaks. I've seen him play a lot and played a couple times with him, and it can be the scoreboard pressure, I think. But Emhardt's got some great range at the net. But this is the type of game that Miles and Oaks are like, bring it on, right? I mean, 3 quick points to bring us 40-love lead here. All right, that takes us. A little word from our sponsor here. Corient is the official wealth sponsor of the APTA's 2024-25 season. Corient is a fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. Learn more at corient.com. Back at the Birchwood Open, if you're just joining us, we're at the men's round of 16 between Emhardt and Lead and Miles and Oaks. Emhardt lead won the first set 6-3. They're down 2, serving 3 now. I'm Mike Rowley alongside Dave Broderick at the historical Birchwood Club. You didn't know it was historical, did you, there, Dave Broderick?
No, I did not.
Our CSM media here. That's they do the live streaming during our match play, and my man Sean here sitting next to me, I got a smile. He throws that out there when he's doing his live streaming. But yeah, Birchwood Open. It's a little sunshine now. It's about 30 degrees. Allison and Adam Morgan are the co-directors here, rackets directors as well as tournament directors, I believe. So they're pulling double duty. They're playing in the event as well as they're running the tournament.
It's never an easy task. Running a tournament takes up enough time and then to go out and try to play. So, well, hats off to them for pulling that double duty.
Yeah, and they, you're putting out small fires everywhere, I'm sure, but
That's when you need a good team working with you.
yeah, the staff here has been hard at work since early this morning, setting things up. We'll have a full day of live stream, as we've mentioned. I think our next match is at 1 p.m. today, Central Time. Boy, do you see the range there from Emhardt? He's doing such a fantastic job of weathering the drive, but also hitting that dropper.
Big wingspan up at the net there. Hey, Mike, as we're getting deeper into the second set, you know, I'm watching it and I'm seeing how the points are being played, and I think if you're obviously, you know, if you're Emhardt in lead, you don't want this going 3 sets. I think, you know, the last game was a little bit loose. Couple of loose points here and there. I think they really want to tighten it up and get this done in 2 straight sets and not even fool around with the 3rd set.
Oh. Great communication for that cutter up the middle. Danny Oakes knew as soon as that ball was hit, it was moving to his partner, Miles. Called him. So there's the good lob.
And now we're starting to see Oakes move in a little bit, look for that spike overhead into his forehand. So
you'll see teams, you know, we haven't seen this much, where Oakes and Miles make a switch in the backcourt. Wow, glorious little cutter there. Let's see, we'll get a replay on that one.
tell you, Emhardt is doing a really good job at the net with his overheads and his volleys, and he has him really thinking back there.
Not to mention the drive in the backcourt.
Yeah. Now he's just starting to show off.
It's a heavy serve. That spin off the paddle pulled the ball wide. That's a good. And the amazing thing
Good
is,
overhead there.
yeah, when they hit that nick, they're aiming for that. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Miles is like, I'm hitting this ball as close to the nick. I love how Miles held that.
It is funny when you talk to people and they, I watched the live stream and they hit the nick so many times. How does that happen? They aim for it.
Yeah.
It's not by accident. I think maybe way back when you hit the nick, it was by accident. But, people started to realize, when it hits the nick, you really don't know where it's going. Maybe we should start aiming for that more.
Well, if you don't aim for it, you don't hit it, right?
Can't hit it. That's right. All right, I think if you're Miles and Oaks, Mike, I think trying to come back and win this set starts right here with this first point.
This is kind of getting into crunch time, isn't it? Oh, wow. Just back-breaking.
Let's not share my thoughts with Miles and Oaks after that net court drop shot winner.
And then the double-handed apology from Emhardt for that wonderfully executed drop shot let cord. Do you think he aims for that, just like aiming for the nick we were talking about last game?
No, I don't think so. Look at him. Emhardt. He's all over the place.
And with his range and movement, I would say that, this is something that they might be looking, they being Miles and Oaks, when they get those drive opportunities, potentially drive it right in the space that Emhardt is standing before they drive, because he's always looking to move and help. There, he's reading my mind.
Right, hit it kind of where he's supposed to be.
Yeah. He just did it 4 times in a row. Go to plan B now. I mean, Emhardt is feeling it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
You're there.
What a point.
I mean, that was some amazing defense there by Miles and Oaks. I mean, they were in trouble several times.
That was a good ball from Oaks.
One.
Good spin.
On there. One. Sorry.
let's go, Ozzy.
Again, I think, Mike, we're getting to the stage of the match where every point's a big point.
Yeah.
Both teams.
Fudge. Good call.
40, 30.
You good, right?
Boy, and I'd love to see if Oaks made a great move there. He just didn't do enough with that volley, right?
Yeah, no, that, I mean, again, that's Emhardt's just kind of taken over this match in the last couple of games. He's sort of everywhere.
Yeah. That was a really good overhead there, staying low into that back screen.
Help. You. Me. Ready. Help. You.
Miles going right back at that crease.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a nifty little cutter.
30. Love.
Bottom just fell out of that cutter, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like right down an elevator shaft.
Soft hands.
Chump.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go.
Great overheads from Emhardt, just really controlling the action.
And I think it goes back to what we said in probably the fourth game of the first set, is just that the overheads from Emhardt and Lead have been just very good. I think Emhardt might want to rethink that return of serve at 30-all here down the line.
Yeah, you heard, I don't know if you heard, he said unnecessary. Sam Miles was two great drop shots to win that game there. Boy.
Miles Oaks. They lead 5 games to 4. Second set. Emhardt lead won the first set 6 games to 3.
It's our chair umpire, Rob Laboon.
At the bird's eye view of this men's round of 16 match.
You spent any time up in one of those chairs?
A couple times. You know, I used to, you know, throughout the years of doing the Short Hills Invitational, it was almost more of a, in case of an emergency, break glass situation. I tried not to volunteer.
Avoid that like the plague. Oh, man.
Right, you talk about running a tournament and all the things you have to worry about. Number one for me was always making sure we had backup chair umpires. On site, not on speed dial,
That's
on
right.
site. All right, Mike. So we have, looks like Charlie Emhardt going to serve to stay in this second set after Emhardt and Lead won the first set 6-3 over Miles and Oaks. What do you think here? Who do you think this? Who's got the better percentages to win this set right now?
I'm going to say, I'm as a fan of the game, getting to spend time with you, I'm saying we're going 3.
All right. I like that. It's a beautiful afternoon for watching paddle.
Boy, some good pressure there from Lead, just hitting that little probing drive.
I think, Mike, during that point, you saw that Miles and Oaks took over the net, but you still saw that Emhardt and Lead were able to get like drive opportunities and create pressure. That's what I think is missing from Miles and Oaks. And to your point, I don't even think they're attacking drives. They're just sort of probing drives, but they're keeping them off balance with it. They're not letting them get comfortable at the net.
Mm-hmm. Nice smooth drive from Danny Oaks there. Boy, a great point from Oaks. I'd love to see that rolling return, a little blitz from Miles.
Good smart cutoff there. Back to your point from earlier about, the activity level of the net player. How, it's not just, you're not just standing up there waiting for the point to start. You want to get actively involved right off the serve.
Yeah, it's a lot easier volley for Lead to step over than have Emhardt dig that ball out from his shoelaces. Wow. Wonder if sun came and played him. If he looked right into the sun, I believe there's just enough sun for it to be a factor.
Mike, do you think Danny Oaks thought he won that point
I
three
think
times?
twice. Yeah, at least 2 or 3 times.
Was it that he looked into the sun or he saw disbelief?
Maybe it was a combo.
Because I think he felt like he hit the ball by Lead 4 times.
Yeah.
And somehow it just kept coming back.
All right. The cutter. He's 1 for 4.
Listen, I appreciate the effort, though, coming up. You know what? We do have to figure out ways maybe to change the game a little bit, maybe get some more excitement. That could be one right there. I know Steve DeRose used to try to do the Zorro return a serve and, slash the ball and get it to spin back over the net.
Off the return he did. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that ball there. Danny Oakes hit through that a little bit more. You know, instead of hitting that roller, I think he needs to change up that speed and take some of the spin off.
But I also thought that he probably hit 3 drives in a row down the line. And, you know, at some point you had to think that Lead was thinking that that ball was going down the middle. And, you know, I think, again, that goes back to it was just well spotted, good speed on it. And, you know, he was able to force a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Boy, they've been playing from behind the entire set here. When I say they, I mean Emhardt and Lead, and they've been up to the task every game.
Like Emhardt and Lead are going into a little bit of a I formation for a little bit there.
So we've got to watch here for Miles make that move up that sideline. Great overheads from Emhardt. He's taken on a lot of risk, hitting that ball, drifting to his left and hitting that ball back into that corner, but can't argue with the success, right?
No, he's hit quite a few, you know, really good ones. I mean, especially because you have Sam Miles there sneaking up the side screen. And, you know, Emhardt's still able to get it in there. And, you know, we saw the last one was so good that it caused a mistake, caused an error. There we see it again.
Some really impressive hands. That's great overhead.
That was a really good return of serve by Sam Miles.
Was an even better short two-hander from Emhardt there to chicken wing Miles. Got a shank volley.
Cross-court flick.
Yeah.
Let's go, Ozzy.
It's been the Charlie Emhardt show.
I tell you, he's been playing fantastic paddle.
And again, a big part of it is just he's been all over the court. His movement, you know, he's not giving him, he's definitely not letting him be comfortable back there at the baseline or the net.
Yeah, and even they've been winning. I'd say 90% of the points just like that. They lost that one, but I'd like to see another Miles drive down the line here. You know, one of the things, Dave, if you're watching though, where Emhardt's hitting those overheads from Miles' lob, Miles isn't doing a good enough job to pushing him kind of closer to the service line to hit that overhead.
Right.
And here we go. A little tiebreaker action for the second set.
Right, because most of those overheads, Emhardt is kind of sliding to his left or our right, but he's not really getting too deep in the court.
Yeah, and that makes it easier to put that ball back
Into the side screen. Yep, absolutely.
Oh, there's a good cutter.
You heard Sam Miles say, let it go. Yeah, I think that would have been one where he would have been better off letting that go to the back screen and coming back and just restarting the point.
Yeah, it was on him so quick and untied his shoes with it. We had 2-love lead here. You know, and throughout the match, you look at Emhardt serving, too, into the deuce corner. I don't think Miles has gotten a look at a drivable ball on Emhardt's serve in either the first or the second set.
Yeah, no, they've done a really good job early on. I think in one of the first couple of games, you saw Miles had several good opportunities of taking good swings at the ball. And, you know, Emhardt and Lee, they've definitely done a really good job of neutralizing that and kind of forcing him just to hit a lot of lobs.
Wow. Really good series of rolling overheads into Danny Oakes to take us to a 3-love lead.
You know, we mentioned it earlier. You mentioned it that, you know, they've been very consistently going at Oakes with those roller overheads into the forehand corner.
And one of the things that it's giving, or it really doesn't give Oakes, you know, he's very good when that ball is getting above kind of like at elbow level, elbow height, you know, with that range.
Right.
Emhardt, great pressure there to draw a volley error of Miles. But they're not giving that roller into Oakes' body. It doesn't allow him to extend and get that, you know, use his range to generate spin and pace on his drives. Nice drive there behind the space that Emhardt just left from Oakes. 4 serving 2.
Have come at a better time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the problem with the great overheads from Emhardt and Lead is that as many balls as Miles is getting back, eventually they're going to hit the nick. Eventually they're going to hit a seam. Something's going to happen, and and you can't say, well, again, Miles should be hitting more drives. Yeah, he should be, but unfortunately the overheads from Lead and Emhardt have been too good.
One.
Boy, that's a big forehand, huh?
Yeah, I would have liked to see Oak stay and take that on his backhand, not flip that paddle over.
Yeah, Lead hit that thing like he was mad at it. He just spanked it.
Yeah. All right, Mike, we have a match point here.
Wow. It's great,
And why
great
shouldn't
match.
it end with a winner from Charlie Emhardt?
Oh, man. That was pretty impressive play.
No, I thought that was a really good match. Again, Emhardt Lead got off to a little bit of a rough start, a little slow start. Maybe that was because of their long match in the round of 32. But, Mike, that was a great match. Glad we could do it together. Everybody should stay tuned for the next match coming up is a women's quarterfinal match, and I believe that's going out at 1 o'clock Central Time. Again, from the Birchwood Club in Highland Park, Illinois, for the Birchwood Open. Mike, any final thoughts on that match?
No, I just think I think it was Emhardt played and Lead played great too, but Emhardt was definitely the X factor there, and he rose to the occasion and hurt him in so many different ways. But great match, and yeah, tune in 1 p.m. We'll be back on the air here shortly.
Yeah, no, so that's a wrap from the Birchwood Open in Highland Park, Illinois. Thank you for joining us.
Want to see how volley can transform training at your club? We've got a great offer for you. Gather 30 of your club friends and you'll get a free 30-day trial of volley. Experience firsthand how volley's trainer can help everyone improve. Increase reps and track your progress, all while training smarter. Don't miss out. Visit getvolley.com and unlock your club's full potential with a 30-day free trial.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.